Hello guys, hi. So welcome back to day 4 of Let's Upgrade 5-day Flutter Bootcamp. So welcome guys. I can see Kapchalo workshop. So workshop is already started, guys. For the people who are asking for certificates, small announcement that you will get a certificate on day 5 on the same attendance link. You will get the option for downloading the certificates. So guys, as you can see from the title, today we have the topic that is the network calls, in which we are going to learn how to call the networks and how we can work on them. Cool. We'll be also saying how to download a package. Good evening to everybody, guys. So let's start. Let me show you some of the packages and first of all, how to find the package. This is also one of the most important things. So I'll just share my tab. So guys, if you can see this tab is known as pub.dev. Just give me a thumbs up, guys, if this is visible to you. Yeah. Cool then, guys. Yeah. So guys, this is basically the official repository and the official website where all the packages that are created by different members in the community, that is basically in the Flutter community, and they publish a package of Flutter, it is present over here. I'll just open any of the package that yesterday we saw the URL underscore launcher package. Now you can see over here is that when was latest it was published, on which website, from which website it was published, कौन से प्लेटफॉर्म पे वो पैकेज अवेलेबल है, वो पैकेज एक्सेसिबल है. फॉर एग्जांपल यूआरएल लॉन्चर के आप देख सकते हो एंड्रॉइड, आईओएस, लिनक्स, मैक ओएस, वेब, विंडोज. दैट मींस ऑन ऑल ऑफ दिस प्लेटफॉर्म्स यू कैन यूज दिस पैकेज विदाउट एनी इश्यूज एंड विल रन प्रॉपर्ली. अगर आप किसी पैकेज के रीडमी में जाते हो तो उसके सारे फीचर्स, उसके एग्जांपल, हाउ टू यूज इट, कुछ कॉन्फ़िगरेशंस अगर रहेंगे, वो सारे आपको देखने को मिल जाते हैं. And guys, one more important thing is that Flutter always analyze all of these packages as to how they are working, what they are working, what is there in the README, and based on that they get their points. That is the pub points, that is 150, 250, 350. If you just click on the pub points, you will see it has 7191 links, 150 out of 150 out of 160 points. Why? The main reason is, first of all, it is not following Dart file conventions. It provides documentation 20 out of 20. Platform supported 20 out of 20. Past static analysis नहीं है, so 40 out of 50. Code has no errors, warnings, or formatting issues. So that is, it means errors, warnings, links, formatting issues. ये कैसे क्या sort करने हैं, ये उनके documentation नहीं दिया है. That is the main reason. Yeah. उनका up to उनकी dependencies सारी की सारी up to date है with latest Flutter. That is the reason they have got support upgraded dependencies of 40 to 40. So with this, you can check different kind of packages. That is, which package is better for you. Because जब भी आप ये packages में जाओगे, आपके लिए सबसे बड़ा question ये रहेगा कि हम लोग कौन सा package use करें, कैसे use करें. So from this, you can sort this out. I'm teaching you this is because the main reason is कि आज के दिन में आपको ये सारे packages use करना बहुत ज़्यादा important है. Even today we are using URL launcher and there is one more package for network calling, so that we are going to use. Yeah. How to open files you uploaded, sir? So if you see in the Notion notes, हमारे जितने भी files हुए हैं अभी तक के, for example जैसे हमारा कल portfolio app बनाया था, तो portfolio completed app is already present over there. Second चीज, हमारे हर day के जो initial repositories होते हैं, वो सारे भी uploaded है on the day before the lecture itself, except for day 1, because day 1 was basically a theoretical lecture. Cool. I hope Satvika, your doubt has been solved. So we have seen this URL launcher, but the second package that we're looking to look for is HTTP. Let me open HTTP package. So over here you can see this is HTTP. It was published 3 months ago from Dart Data. Acha guys, also one more thing. You see over here, this is Dart 3 compatible. Now the people who are previously done Flutter, or even if you're a beginner, you should know that the Dart 3, that is Flutter 3.0 and Dart 3.0, after this, they had to introduce null safety. Now, since after introduction null safety, all the packages were updated and they were asked to be null safe, क्योंकि कई सारे ऐसे प्रोजेक्ट्स भी होते हैं जो भाई Dart 3 के पहले इंट्रोड्यूशन के वो प्रोडक्शन में गए रहेंगे, they were not updated. Since they were not updated, all the package should be there. One more important thing is that अभी आप सोच रहे होगे कि सर अगर pub.dev पे पैकेज अपडेट हो गया तो मेरे प्रोजेक्ट में भी तो अपडेट हो जाएगा. What will happen then? बट ऐसा नहीं है गाइस. अगर pub.dev पे भले ही नया पैकेज, एक पैकेज का नया वर्जन इंट्रोड्यूस होता है, still the old version is still there in pub.dev. You can still use the old version as well if you are compatible with it. But my suggestion always is there, always upgrade your packages with the latest versions. Yeah. So we are going to use this package. You have, as you can see in the using, they have given how to use the package, how to read the files, how to get the data, and everything else. That is retry request and other things. So we are going to use this HTML package for our today's project. That is for the network callings. Okay. So this is one of the things. I hope this is clear until now. Just guys, give us a thumbs up or a like so that we'll understand that you are able to understanding all the things that we have taught and there is no doubts. If there's any doubts, put in the comment section because we'll be always keeping a look for it. Yeah, cool then. Let me just share another tab. Yeah, if you can see this tab, guys, this tab is known as JSON placeholder tab. The reason we are showing this tab is because since we will be calling the APIs, we'll be also checking the widget that is known as list view. So इस tab में कैसा है हमारा सारा data है that is the dummy data that is present and we are going to use this API. If you can see this API structure, just guys give us a thumbs up. Are we learning API part? We are going to learn API part and how to do network calls for that. Yeah, cool then guys. If you can see this, how it is present over here, let me just shorten it. If you can see, this has 100 items, a list. Inside this list, there are what do you call it? Many of the JSON files. अगर मैं किसी एक को बोलता हूँ, it has user ID, title, and body. So it has 4 properties that are present over there, and we are going to use these properties for calling. Acha. So for today, we are also going to learn, how to create classes, how to create models, and everything. There are a lot of ways. First of all, there are traditional ways that we can use. So guys, see, the thing is that there won't be just a use of Hindi or English. It will be a mix because there are, varied students that are present over there, and we have to care for each and every student. Cool then? Yeah. So if you can see, अगर आप लोग यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं, we have user ID, title, body, and ID as well, and we have to use all these properties. So as I was conversing, that हम लोग को class और models बनाने पड़ते हैं. लेकिन क्लास और मॉडल्स बनाएंगे अगर हम लोग ने इनिशियली क्या बोलते हैं फ्लटर के कोड करते करते गए सिंस इट्स अ 5-day boot camp we have a short time so we are going to use some tips and tricks through which we can create a class and models. So let me just share you another link that is QuickType.io. So उसके पहले मैं इस कर्ली ब्रेस को पूरा कॉपी कर लेता हूँ. Yes, let me just go to this tab. So I'm pretty sure you can see the QuickType.io, that is app.quicktype.io. This link. Now, what does this link do? So let me just remove this. This QuickType.io does is कि अगर आप कोई भी उसको JSON देते हो, वो अलग-अलग लैंग्वेजेस में उसे क्लास मॉडल्स, उसकी कॉपी विद, उसके JSON, from JSON to JSON models बना के देता है. Now I'll just put in the JSON that we had copied. Let us paste it. 1 second. And then I've copied it and I pasted it. तो अगर आप इसको देख सकते हो हमारे पास यहाँ पे JSON है और जैसे ही हम लोग ने ये JSON अपलोड कर दिया it has converted file. अब इससे अगर if you can see it over here, it is final end user. Let me just change the value. Rather than 1, I'll put it as double quotes 1. Look over here guys, it has changed to string. So ये continuously update होता है. जैसे ही आप लेफ्ट साइड में कोई भी चेंजेस करोगे राइट साइड में भी वैसे ही चेंजेस इमीडिएटली हो जाए. Let me just put one. Yeah. So if you can also right side, if you can see over here we have null safety types only put encoder. Let's just switch off everything. Okay. So फिर भी उसने इतना बड़ा मॉडल दिया. Now let me put it up कि भाई क्योंकि हमारा प्रोजेक्ट null safety के साथ है, let's put up null safety. We need types. With types only you can see we have class that is integer, int, string, title, JSON model. I hope guys I'm clear until now. Let me just remove the types because we need other things as well. Put encoder and decoder inside the class itself. That is to JSON, from JSON model. I need inside the class rather than outside. We can also put it outside. We can use it from outside as well. Make all properties final. All properties required and make all properties final. Generate copy with. Cool then guys, we have got this option. Now let us copy the code from that so that it will help us out in more. Okay, then I'll copy. Let me just stop the screen share and again reshare my complete code to you. Because now we won't have to go to other websites. Our work will be done directly on the. I hope guys I'm clear until now. Just give me a thumbs up or something on the what do you call that comment section so that I come to know that it is cleared and you don't have any doubts currently. If you have any doubts, guys do ask us before moving on to the next part. Cool then I think so guys it is pretty much clear to you guys. Cool then. Guys, I hope my code is visible to you. So right now we'll be moving towards the code. As you can see currently हम लोग ने पूरा एक रफ कोड लिया है. Yesterday का हम लोग का पोर्टफोलियो का कंप्लीट हो गया था मैंने आपको सेंड किया है. Also guys, as I had asked you कि अपने इंस्टाग्राम से लेट्स अपग्रेड और मेरे पर्सनल इंस्टाग्राम अकाउंट दोनों को टैग कर सकते हो. अपना पोर्टफोलियो ऐप कंप्लीट करो एंड पुट अप अ स्क्रीनशॉट ऑफ योर पोर्टफोलियो. That will help us let's upgrade and for me as well to understand how much concept you have understood and what is the outcome of our bootcamp and training. And that will also help us to put up more bootcamps. Yeah. So since we have this, what do you call it, boilerplate, but it is filled with comments and everything else. So we are not looking for it. Let's just remove and start from scratch itself. So deleted it. Let's start from scratch. So as we discussed yesterday, we'll be starting first with void main. And inside void main, the entry point is run app. Now we run app to Google. As we discussed yesterday as well, we have to first introduce stateless widget. Also, guys, can you tell me does the stateless widget has the state or it doesn't have the state? Because we have been discussing this for last 2 days and we have discussed whether stateless has state or not. So here also we'll be adding my app. Cool. I think so our work is done. Now here let's add return serial app. So इससे हमारा basic coding हो गया. Let me just refresh it. What you will see is that the way is home scaffold, and inside which what I'm going to do is that I'm going to add body with a placeholder. So if we add this and let me just reload the application. So now the application looks like it. That's what we are hoping for currently. Okay, guys. Cool then, guys. So until now, as we had discussed, let me just give a small recap. हम लोग ने इसके पहले जो सीखा था वो था JSON case type folder, which was giving us complete JSON. We had used app QuickType.io, which was giving us from JSON. It was giving us dart code, and we had learned कि pub.dm packages कैसे हो. As for this part, that is what we call that. That is the coding part. What we did was we removed the complete boilerplate code and we added a basic code that we needed, which is basic. First is the void main, inside which we introduced the run app, which is our entry point of our application. We also introduced a stateless widget known as my app. Now, as we discussed yesterday, हमारे पास दो तरह के app widgets होते हैं, material app and Cupertino app. तो हम लोगों ने सबसे पहले material app choose किया since I'm developing an Android. For iOS users, you can use Cupertino app. Third is the scaffold part and the placeholder. So I hope I'm clear. So actually, what is a placeholder? So placeholder is basically a widget which gives X UI on the screen. The reason I use placeholder is because to show a X on the screen that there is nothing currently, और हम लोग उसमें आगे UI build करें. That is the reason I show placeholder part. Guys, If you're not able to understand the code, do ask. You're not able to understand, I'll definitely sort it out. I hope I'm clear with what is placeholder. Placeholder is basically a UI of X. Okay, then well, now let's continue. तो इसमें हम लोग का पूरा कोड हो गया है, but it is the basic and the basic gist code. There is nothing else over here. But there are few things that you need to understand before running towards the code. Yesterday, guys, if you guys remember exactly, how did we added the particular PubSpec YAMLs, that is the URL launcher and HTTP? Does anybody remember the command that we had added yesterday for URL launcher? Okay, let me just revise. We did was Flutter pub add URL underscore launcher. Can anybody tell me, guys, what does this command line does? So basically, guys, this command line, that is Flutter space pub space add space URL underscore launcher. What it does is that it will add the URL launcher package to my project. The same way I can add a space and put in HTTP. If I run enter on this command, what it will do is that मेरा जो PubSpec YAML का file है, which we saw yesterday, which had all the rules, तो ये दोनों packages को उस file पे add करेगा. If I run the command, what will happen is, if I go to this PubSpec YAML file and I just open it, तो अगर आप लोग यहाँ पे देख सकते हो, ये दोनों lines add करेगा. The biggest reason to add this lines via command line and not personally go into the code and adding it is because कि अगर हम लोग ने उसको personally as PubSpec YAML is an indentation language, अगर उसका indentation कहीं पे भी गलत होता है और वो आगे पीछे हो जाता है तो पूरा प्रोजेक्ट ब्रेक होने के चांसेस होते हैं. That is the reason we added through a command line and not via typing it out. I hope, guys, you are understanding what I'm saying until now. Launch URL string is basically a method that is used in URL launcher. It is not used for adding the command. If you want to add the command, if you want to add the packages in PubSpec YAML file, what you do is that Flutter space pub space add space URL launcher. We'll be also adding it in the command section. Let me just get the command Flutter pub add URL underscore launcher. So guys, we have put up the command in the comment section. If you just copy and paste it, then what will happen is you will get the packages. Cool then. Now after adding the PubSpec YAML, what we'll do is that we'll just go to our code. So let me just stop my screen share for 1 second. Yes, present share screen. Do you guys have any doubt in this tab? I'm pretty sure you have understood what a QuickType.io is. As we discussed previously as well, ये जो JSON फाइल हम लोग जो ऐड करते हैं इसमें, ये हम लोग को उसका पूरा डार्ट कोड बना के देता है, but just a model class, nothing else. We have to use this model class to work on it, so we'll be doing that. Let me just copy the code and let me paste it on our code. So guys, I do hope my screen is visible and my coding is visible now. So what you can do is that in the lib, you can create a new file. In that file, JSON underscore model. And what you can do is that you can just paste it. Now guys, if you see, मेरे पास मेरा पूरा जो मॉडल है वो सारा का सारा यहाँ पे इंपोर्ट हो गया है without any problem. Because what we did was हमने app.QuickType.io से पूरा का पूरा क्लास हम लोगों ने JSON वहाँ पे पेस्ट किया. We got the complete class model and just copied it and pasted it over here to get a model. Using this method, guys, you can get multiple models. अगर आपको किसी भी टाइप का मॉडल चाहिए, you can just paste the JSON to app.QuickType.io and you will easily get the models. So QuickType.io we use for saving time, right? Yes, guys, it is very for a shortened period. If you have any customized class, yes, you can create it. But QuickType.io से क्या होता है कि बहुत easily हम लोग का time बच जाता है. Since we are doing the bootcamp, so every day we give only 1 hour. So we have to sort everything in 1 hour. So that is the reason we do this. Now we have pasted the model. Let me create a new class. It is app underscore service. I'll be creating a class that is app service, inside which let me create a static method. Static. And let me create a function that is known as getPost. As I know, I'll be getting a JSON model. So I'll be importing JSON model. Well, then now it has to return JSON model, but it's currently written in JSON. So let me first import HTTP package. जैसे हम लोगों ने कल भी URL launcher को import किया था. Let me import HTTP package. Import HTTP dot app. Over here it is. Now over here we'll just write as HTTP. क्योंकि मुझे इसके naming convention use करना है. HTTP dot get. Now over here we have to add the URL. Now as we had seen the JSON placeholder URL that we had initially posted up, we'll just post it again to you guys. आज हम लोग को सारे पोस्ट मिलने वाले हैं. So in this URI it only accepts URL. So URI dot pass. And we'll just paste it. Here we are going to write the future response get data. So what I'll do is that HTTP dot response. So I'll make this. Guys, I hope I'm clear until now in the HTTP package. But still it is showing me error. The reason it is showing error is because I'm not returning a JSON model. Currently, I'm not returning anything. But if you guys see over here the line, what we have done is that we have imported a package known as HTTP. उसमें एक method आता है get. Now, if you guys have done API calls, there are generally 4 methods: post, get, update, and delete. That is the crude operations. Post means sending the data. Get means getting the data. Update means updating the data, and delete means deleting the data. So we'll be just doing get over here. After doing get, since it is http.response, now be happy if future मुझे send करें. But I don't want the future. What I want is I just want the response. So what we do over here, we just write here as await. And to write it await, we do is. So we just know this. We have http.response. Now after this, what you do is that get data. So response dot body. But what is happening over here is whatever response dot body that we get, it is in the format of string. We will just check it out here. We have get data. It is in response body. I do dot body. Let me just print it. And let me just remove this for a second so that the error is gone. Remain dot that. We'll just run. We'll just do a few clicks to understand the things. App service dot get post. And let me just reload. Let's see what will happen over here. Guys, do you see this? We are getting a complete list. But this is in the format as the way it was showing in JSON placeholder. And we don't need this kind of data. हम लोग को इस टाइप का डेटा नहीं चाहिए. हम लोग को जो डेटा चाहिए वो हमारे खुद के फॉर्मेट में, हमारे खुद के JSON मॉडल में चाहिए. और कैसे आएगा हम लोग के JSON मॉडल में, हम लोग वही ऐड करेंगे. So let me show you. Let me just delete this. Over here, what I do is that instead of doing the print, just see in the JSON model, we have JSON model form map जिसमें हम लोग string देते हैं और ये पूरा JSON model में revert करेगा. So the same thing I will do over here. I will just remove this. I will be calling the method JSON model from map, and this I will be writing get data dot body. If I just hover over it, you can see it is showing JSON model. So what I'll do over here, I'll be adding JSON model. JSON model is equal to. Now over here, what is happening is it is returning data in the JSON model. And I'll just return JSON. Since we have to mention a return type. It is in future. Let me just explain you the code that we have written in app service, and after which you guys can ask your doubts to me. There are 2 to 3 things that we did first of all in app service. What we first did was we inputted HTTP package. We named it as HTTP. Just the way we did yesterday with URL launcher. We created a class named as class app service, inside of which we created a function named as get post. We gave it a method as static and return type as JSON model. We did initial. Abhi isme jo get post hai, it is just a naming convention. You know, as a normal function that we runs, how does a function runs? Function runs with a bracket and a curly braces. The bracket is given for the input in the input values. अगर आप उसमें string भेज रहे हो या फिर integer, double या फिर कोई भी class भेज रहे हो, that is something you add in a bracket. In curly braces, what you add is the body. कि जो input values आपको आ रहे हैं, आप उसको कैसे change कर रहे हो, कैसे update कर रहे हो, कैसे delete कर रहे हो. That is what we do in the curly braces. So this is basically a function body. That's what we created over here. The reason for calling static is we can use app service dot get post. If you don't want to call static, what you have to do is that we have to initialize it and then call it. So static is not much of a concern over here. The concern is the body of this function. That is what we are doing over here. So over here, initially first what we did was, as we had called the HTTP package, we ran the function http.get. हमने जैसे इनिशियली डिस्कस किया एपीआई में पोस्ट, डिलीट, पुट, अपडेट ये सारे फंक्शंस होते हैं. तो वैसे ही उसमें गेट फंक्शन होता है, which what does is that it will get the data from a URL and it will provide you all the data. So that's what we're doing over here. हम लोग का URL, it's a static dummy URL that I had got it from internet, which gives you a complete list of posts that is almost 100 posts. We passed it in URL and we send it a response. This is the normal convention of HTTP package. Now then what we did was we got the get data, that is our response, and the body. But what happened was initially with the body, it was giving us a complete string value. बॉडी हम लोग कंप्लीटली स्ट्रिंग वैल्यू दे रहा था, जो कि हम वेबसाइट पे भी चेक कर रहे थे, पूरा स्ट्रिंग में वैल्यू दे रहा था, बट हम लोग को स्ट्रिंग में वैल्यू नहीं चाहिए. What we wanted was we wanted the complete value in a JSON model. So that is the reason we had to shift and change the complete value into a JSON model, and that's how we updated it. Now let's print it out and let's check it out how it is working. So in the main.dart, what I will do is that I'll just write app service dot get post. Let's see what does it do. Let's do a hot reload. Let's put up unhandled exception. List of dynamic is not a subtype of map string. So let's sort this issue. Over here, what I'll write is I just introduce a variable named as list JSON model final post list is equal to empty, and here post list each. So let me just give you a revised code. I'll be again explaining what is happening in the code and what is the error happening. So here also it will be JSON model dot from. Why did this error occur? Cool then, guys. The reason for error occurring was कि हम लोग का get data dot body था, वो पूरा list है जिसके अंदर JSON models. But what I did the mistake was I directly converted the body to a JSON model. मैंने अभी जो change किया है वो ये किया है. We used a JSON decode function which is already present in Dart, जिससे हम लोग ने सारा डेटा को list of dynamic में convert किया. एंड बट हम लोग को यहाँ पे डायनामिक डेटा नहीं चाहिए, हम लोग को यहाँ पे जेसन मॉडल चाहिए. तो हम लोगों ने ईच पोस्ट को जेसन मॉडल में कन्वर्ट करके एक नए लिस्ट में ऐड किया व्हिच वी आर रिटर्न. एंड नाउ इफ यू गो टू मेन डॉट डाट, हम लोग यहाँ पे ऐप सर्विस डॉट गेट पोस्ट किया है, एंड इफ यू कैन सी ओवर हियर वी आर नॉट रिसीविंग एनी ऑफ द एरर्स. So let's try to create a UI which will help you out for a better understanding. That means what we do, and then we try to get the data. So as we have all of these functions and everything ready, let's create a UI which will help you out in better understanding. So guys, if you see over here, what we have done is that we are still returning a future. Now, does anybody know what is a future means? What is API calling? How does API calling works in a application or somewhere else? Yeah. So the API, how does API calling works? API calling is basically a asynchronous function. That means we won't be syncing it to the application. We'll be running it in the background so that your UI, आपका जो भी UI काम कर रहा है, जो भी लोडिंग इंडिकेटर्स, जो भी फंक्शंस आप काम कर रहे हो, वो ऐप में इजीली हो और आपको कहीं पे वेट ना करना पड़े. That is the main reason that is we try to run the application in the background and in front end we don't work on anything so that we can easily work it out. और हमारा जो भी नेटवर्क कॉलिंग्स है क्योंकि नेटवर्क कॉलिंग्स में टाइम लगता है समटाइम्स इट इज लेस डेटा सो नेटवर्क कॉलिंग्स क्विकली हो जाता है बट समटाइम्स देयर इज ह्यूज डेटा सो नेटवर्क कॉलिंग्स में बहुत सारा टाइम जाता है एंड दैट इज द मेन रीजन वी डू नेटवर्क कॉलिंग्स इन द बैक सो लेट अस क्रिएट अ यूआई व्हिच विल हेल्प यू आउट टू अंडरस्टैंड मोर बेटर कुल दिन हम लोग मेन डाट में जाते हैं you have scaffold and placeholder let me just add app and let me just write the title as we wrote yesterday text post हम लोग उसे एक स्टाइल भी देंगे theme dot text dot texting dot body medium so we got a title let me just change it to headline medium and let's see how it's going. Okay body medium will be and let me just make it as center title. And then let me just change the color as well. Color. Color sort. Let me just remove this placeholder. Now guys, as you can see over here, we have a future. जैसे मैंने explain किया what does a future do? Future runs the application in the background कि हमारे जितने भी API calls और बाकी कॉलिंग्स होते हैं वो सारे के सारे बैकग्राउंड में रन होते हैं हम लोग उसको फ्रंट एंड में UI में डिस्टर्ब नहीं करते and that is what we want to do over here. So हम लोग future तो कॉल कर दिया API का डेटा आ गया लेकिन उस future को हम लोग रन कैसे करेंगे How will it perform the function that is कि डेटा आ रहा है तो हम लोग को लोडिंग दिखाना है डेटा चला गया है तो हम लोग को आउटपुट दिखाना है डेटा नहीं आया है अभी तक तो हम लोग को कुछ भी नहीं दिखाना How do we shoot this and that is something we'll be doing it now so let me just add a future builder over here the future builder helps us to do it we have future and we have builder future will be app service dot get post here we are going to write a list of JSON model that is a return type we need a builder over here builder will have two properties context comma snapshot don't worry guys you'll understand everything in this we are going to write a switch state will have snapshot dot connection state so guys as we discussed 2 minutes ago हमने इसे डिस्कस किया कि हमारा API calls run हुआ but what there are multiple conditions in this first of all हमारा API का डेटा कॉल कनेक्टिंग हुआ API से डेटा आया नहीं सेकंड इज कि हमने API से डेटा कनेक्ट किया नाउ डेटा इज कमिंग टू अस इट हैज नॉट कम अप टू अस येट थर्ड इज डेटा कंटिन्यूअसली आ रहा है एंड फोर्थ इज डेटा कंप्लीटली आ गया है अभी उसका अभी कुछ काम these are the four conditions that is the four connection states that we have in an API calling and we are going to handle each and every connection state so for the first connection state what we will write as case connection state dot null that means API से connect नहीं हुआ second is case connection state dot waiting that is still loading. In both the cases, what I'll be showing is return center child loading indicator, and that also circular progress indicator. So we have shown this. Now we have another two properties, that is the data has come up or data is coming right now. We have got half the data, half of the data is coming up. So what I'll do is that case connection state dot active and कि data हमारा पूरा आ गया and output is ready. That is connection state dot done. And let's just put up a container over here of height 25 width 25 and color, that is colors dot green. So as you guys can see, this is that's it. मेरा पहला लोडिंग हो रहा है और फिर सेंटर में आ गया हमारा डेटा. That means data has come up to us. Is there a doubt in the connection state, guys? Just give me a thumbs up if you have understood in the connection state. If not, then let me know. I'll just reload it again for you guys to check. So if you guys can see in the screen, what is happening is it is first putting up the loading sign and then it is showing the box. So again, it is first loading, then showing the box. Now, हमारा waiting और अगर कोई data नहीं है, so we are showing the circle indicator. But what I want is कि over here we are not just going to show the box, but we are also going to show all the data. So let's just create a first UI. That is, as all of you guys were asking about list view. List view dot builder. Over here, I'll put in context for my index. Because it's a bit complex, so we are going to learn it, and I'm going to explain it twice and thrice for your better understanding. I'm going to also put an item count. Now, item count will be snapshot.data. So in snapshot, we have connection state and also the data. Snapshot.connection data dot length. Let's put it up. A list view में, I think so it is list style. Yes, a list style. Just save it. So nothing is happening over here. Let me just do, rather than list view builder, I'll just use separated. To separate a builder as context, comma index, return divider. Now what does divider gives us? Gives a horizontal line, nothing else. So if you can see over here, यहाँ पे कई सारे dashes आके बैठे. That means between these dashes there are blocks which are basically a list styles. So now what we're going to do is that we're going to add the data over here. List style title as snapshot. First we have to add the widget text snapshot.data index title. So guys, all the titles that are present over here. Now let's add subtitle text snapshot.data dot sorry. So we have to access each individual. So index dot body. So now we have the title and the subtitle. But I also need the other points, that is in the JSON model you can see integer ID and integer user ID. So let's try to add just the ID, not the user ID. We have reading over here. Let's add text snapshot dot data square bracket index dot id. Now let's see what is it showing. Okay, so what is showing is the argument it can be assigned to the parameter string, क्योंकि टेक्स्ट के अंदर हम लोग सिर्फ स्ट्रिंग डाल सकते हैं, हम लोग कोई और प्रॉपर्टी नहीं डाल सकते. So we'll just add dot to string, which what we'll do is that we will convert the value to a string. Now let's save it. So guys, if you can see over here, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It is going till, it will go till 100, guys. Yeah, the final is 100. So what we have done over here is that we have added the integers, that is the post ID, we have added the title, we have added the subtitle. Plus what we did was we separate a builder, use connections. So as this was the UI that we're doing for, what do you call that, API calling. Now what I'll do is that I'll just give you a small gist, a small review for next 5 minutes of complete what we have done from start to end. And second thing, which will help you out, to understand what all things are happening. Second is, after which you guys can ask me the doubts. Yeah. So let me just stop the screen share and give you a small gist from start to end. Yeah, let me just present, share file, and your JSON placeholder. So guys, let's first start with this JSON placeholder. Is my screen visible, guys? Is my screen added? Yeah. So now just give me a thumbs up, guys, or a heart if you guys can see my screen. Now what we did was हमने JSON placeholder.typecode.com. This is the site that we used for getting the data because we have a short time. So I thought let's use the dummy data and let's see how the network calling happens. तो इसके लिए हम लोग ने JSON placeholder.typecode.com site use किया where we have almost 100 dummy data posts present. This is what generally is used for teaching methods. So this is helpful. Over there, what they did was they gave almost 100 JSONs, and each JSON contained a user ID, a title, and a body. So we use this data. Second thing what we did was, क्योंकि हम लोग के पास ये डेटा था, but अगर हम लोग को हर एक का एक मॉडल बनाना पड़ता, एक क्लास बनाना पड़ता, it would have been lengthy. So we used a shortcut that is QuickType.io. But before using QuickType.io, what we did was we just copied a single data and then we went to QuickType.io. I hope my JSON placeholder.type is visible. Okay, it's not visible. Is it visible now? Can we use this data from server? Yes, you can use this data from server. Generally for server calling as well, you need APIs. So जो JSON placeholder का API use किया है, उसकी बजाय आप अपना API use करके call कर सकते हैं. To use the dummy data and not show the production things. That's the reason I did this. But in a company and a production working में आप लोग अपना API use करके same code use करके you will get the same output. So that won't be a problem. Second, what we did was we use app codings. Now inside this app coding, I'm doing app.filter.io use किया. I'll just remove everything over here. So अगर आप यहाँ पे देखते हो currently ये पूरी तरीके से blank है. मैंने यहाँ पे सबसे पहले name दिया that is JSON model. और जो JSON हमने JSON placeholder से यूज किया था, we just pasted it over here. Now using this JSON, automatically what happened was app.QuickType.io ने हम लोग को एक पूरा Dart class present कर दिया, that is the model class, which contains the integer types, string types, its requirement, its copy with files, and it's getting passing on. Now over here, if you see, let me just zoom in this. Factory JSON model dot from map to map. अगर आप लोगों ने बैकएंड से कोई डेटा उठाया है या फिर एपीआई से आपने कोई डेटा कॉल किया है, सो व्हाट हैपेंस इज वो एक जेसन फॉर्मेट में देता है, दैट इज कर्ली ब्रेसेस विद स्ट्रिंग कीज एंड वैल्यूज फॉर्मेट में. लेकिन कोई भी प्रोग्रामर डायरेक्टली जेसन फॉर्मेट को यूज करके अगर वो कोडिंग करता है तो जेसन फॉर्मेट में कुछ भी चेंज आता है उसको इश्यूज आएंगे. ही कैन नॉट कैच एरर्स, ही कैन नॉट चेक इन विद द एक्सेप्शंस एंड एवरीथिंग. That is the reason what we do is that we convert the JSON format in our own model class and then we use it to call different values and ease of use. तो इसलिए हम लोगों ने एक मॉडल क्लास बनाया using app.quicktype.io. Third thing what we learned was pub.dev. Now what does exactly pub.dev means? So pub.dev basically it is a website which helps us to download the packages. फ्लटर के जितने भी पैकेजेस होते हैं वो सारे के सारे pub.dev पे पब्लिश होते हैं ताकि सबके लिए वो इजी पड़े सारा यूज करना और सारे पैकेजेस में फ्लटर फेवरेट्स दैट इज जो सबसे ज्यादा लोगों ने पसंद किए हैं. सेकंड चीज उनकी एनालिटिक्स उनकी ऑथेंटिसिटी वो आपके प्रोजेक्ट के साथ कंपैटिबल है कि नहीं. एवरीथिंग यू कैन चेक ऑन pub.dev itself before even using it in your own project. तो ये आपको इसलिए हेल्प करता है ताकि आपको पैकेजेस के यूसेजेस अच्छी तरह पता चले और आप और अभी अच्छी तरीके से कंपनी में यूज कर सके. बिकॉज फॉर एवरी कॉर्पोरेट पर्सन टाइम इज बेसिकली मनी, सो दैट इज वेयर इट हेल्प्स यू आउट. So from this, what we did was I told you, basically taught you key how to check the packages, what is compatibility, and how can we use in the project. So we use basically two packages currently we downloaded in the project. One is URL underscore launcher, second is HTTP package. Now after going towards this and understanding all the three websites, we went towards a code. So let me share my coding screen. Okay guys, I hope now my coding screen is visible. So initially after coming to the coding screen, what we did was we first run a command that is flutter pub add URL launcher and HTTP. These two things help us to download the package at HTTP package and URL launcher. Before guys going to further towards the code, what I would like to ask you a question is that क्या आप लोगों को JSON placeholder, QuickType.io और pub.dev ये तीनों websites की usages, how its authenticity, and third is its compatibility. Did you guys understand all these three things? Just give us a thumbs up, guys. Yeah. So then after moving on towards code, we already had a boilerplate of the code, but what we wanted was it was with a lot of comments and everything. So we removed this and we created a simple code for us. Initially, we imported all the three packages, that is material, app service, and JSON model. We went to void main and run app. Run app is basically as we have been discussing for the last 3 days. Run app हमारा app का root function होता है जो कि पूरे app को call करता है. Inside which we have stateless widget. We call the material app and scaffold an app bar just like yesterday because it helps us to create the UI. And here body. Before going inside the body, as to body में क्या क्या चीजें हैं, we'll be checking out two things. First is a JSON model. ये पूरा का पूरा JSON model हम लोग ने directly QuickType.io से copy करके paste किया है, as they have provided us with the complete model. We created then app service. Now what does exactly app service means? App service हम लोगों ने एक class introduce किया, inside which we introduced a method named as getPost. And in this getPost, what we did was we imported the package known as HTTP and JSON model and Dart convert. Now, what does these three packages do? First of all, HTTP. HTTP has method named as http.get. As we discussed previously as well, API calls have multiple methods: post, get, delete, update. That is the CRUD operations: create, read, update, delete. हम लोगों ने get operation introduce किया for reading the data from JSON placeholder, and we got a response. We also did async await. Now, what does async await and future calls means? So, whenever you create a Flutter application, what you want is user UI smoothness, user experience to be perfect and very good. Now, how do you get the user experience to be very good? You get it after when your UI is running smoothly and all the network calls. Since network calls takes a lot of time and takes a lot of energy and data of your device, we do it in the background so that the user won't have any problem in calling the network calls. Yeah. So then what we did was I'm going to get data करके JSON decode किया. Now what does JSON decode exactly means? As we saw initially, हम लोग का जो body था, it is of string type. अगर मैं उस पर hover करके भी दिखाऊं, it shows string get body. That means it is data type is string. But while getting the body, we do need the string, right? हम लोग ने हमारी JSON placeholder में पहले डेटा चेक कर लिया था. It is of type list. So how do we convert it from a string to a list? That's where our JSON decode helps us out. JSON decode क्या करता है? JSON decode आपका जो भी string का value होता है उसको convert करके maps, list of maps ये सारे values में convert करवा के देता है. That is the reason we use JSON decode, and for this we import a package that is import dart convert, because this package itself and this method itself is present in your dart language method. But over here what we got was list of dynamic, that is list of any data types. हम लोग को list of maps मिला था, and what we wanted was list of JSON model. Now as we discussed previously again, JSON model हम लोग को इसलिए help कर रहा था क्योंकि अगर हम लोग API calls के JSON अगर यूज करते हैं तो उसमें strings और string value output होता है. But what we need was we need a model class, we need a model value for better understanding, better coding, and better error handling. So we converted it to the list and we added each and every item and we returned it. That means now we'll be returning the value of JSON model. That is our model class. I hope I'm clear. So could you share this code for reference? Yes, guys, all the code will be shared to you via notes. So don't worry about this. Yeah. When we went to our main.app, what we did was we first called the future builder. So जैसे guys पहले भी हमने डिस्कस किया, हमारा सारा का सारा future that is the API calling happens in background. UI front end में कॉल हो रहा है. But how do I connect this two? How do I check the connection कि हमारा डेटा आ गया है, डेटा आने वाला है और डेटा आ चुका है? तो ये तीनों चीजें चेक करने के लिए हम लोग फ्यूचर बिल्डर यूज करते हैं, which has all the conditions like connection state and the data value. So first we did a connection state. We checked for two connections, that is none and waiting. That means data hasn't been called yet and data is coming up. So what we did was we introduced a circle navigator, that is a loading screen. When the data has come up and data is already present and is coming, so there we use a list view dot separator and we created a complete UI. So guys, this was up for all the network callings, the UI and the data calling. If you have any doubts until now, what is the difference between a future builder and a value notifier? So if you say about value notifier, what happens is if you change any of the value, that is अगर मैंने यश, मेरा नाम यश है, मैंने अपने नाम का एक वेरिएबल क्रिएट किया and I put up my age as 23, 24. Even if I change it for 25, then second thing what I want is I want all the values that is calling it. That is app screen, main.dart, JSON holder, app service. अगर ये सारी फाइल्स एक साथ इस यश की वैल्यू को कॉल कर रहे हैं और उन्हें अपडेट चाहिए कि वैल्यू चेंज हो गया है, that is when they get. What Future Builder does is it continuously keeps on checking whether the value has been changed or not. So it is basically two opposite ends. So guys, this is how we call all the deposed data. So I'll just stop my application. I hope I'm clear until now. If you guys have doubts, do let me know in the comment section. So we'll be doing a doubt solve for 1 minute and then we can stop the lecture. Yeah. So I think you guys have understood most of the lecture. It is a bit difficult lecture for a network calling as well. So if you have any doubts, you can put it up in the LetsUpgrade comment sections and let us know. Cool. Thank you guys. Thank you very much for today's section. Yeah.